one. And we're live for another episode of Collaborate and Pull Together, a podcast where we highlight all things positive on and off the table. And today we have a special guest joining us, Paul Italia. And joining us again as a returning guest is Steve Fernandez of New York Tristate Armwrestling. It's an honor to have Paul Italia on here. I gotta say, this has been a hell of a journey. 4 years into the sport, and I've come across all walks of life, but very few have actually stuck with me in a fashion similar that you have. You came in fairly early in my journey. I think I was maybe like 7 months in, give or take, and you gave me the foundation that I have today about my weight loss. So I have to open up with that, man. Nod to you. Kudos to you for inspiring that level of intensity within me.
Hell yeah. Well, I want to thank you for having me on this podcast, bro. I've been checking you out the last couple of weeks and all, and I'm like, oh man, I love it, bro. You're the perfect guy to throw in an arm wrestling podcast. And, just like you said, man, we kind of linked up right at the beginning of both of our journeys. And it so happens to be, you live right in my area in New York. And, I've been training with you pretty much from the beginning. I get to watch you progress. And we've even had a super match against each other where you kicked my ass back in the day, man. A little fire under me for real, bro. So
That
thank you
was
for
actually
having me on, man.
that was the first barbecue that I had. That was the
Right.
very first barbecue that I ever had. And you brought the energy, man. I gotta say,
Bro, you had the whole
so
country watching that one. I remember that shit was crazy. There was so many people tuning in, and that was amazing, man. So much fun too.
it was a blast. Because of you, though, I had to keep the energy alive. I do it. I've now just finished my last one this year. Steve helped me out with it tremendously. We had the fourth one, and you see all the super matches that we had. We had a whole bunch of raffles. So every year it just gets a little bit better and bigger, man.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah.
It's definitely a good time. It was a great time. I can say that much.
So speaking of great times, Steve, you were down at the East vs. West 14 down in Orlando, Florida this year.
Yeah,
Tell
man.
us a little bit about your experience being there firsthand, because I can say what I saw on the stream, and I'm sure Paul can say the same thing, but let's hear it from the firsthand experience.
It was unbelievable, man. It was we got the VIP passes, me and my fiance, we went out there and the hotel was great, the people were great. I'm saying everything was phenomenal. The line was we didn't have to wait in a line, it was VIP, so we could just walk right in. But I'm saying the line was literally from I want to say probably almost a block long. It was about 1,000 people in there. It was ridiculous. I'm saying the energy and everything about that place was unbelievable. I'm saying the people, the pullers, the screens on the back, everything made I want to say arm wrestling to the next level. I don't know if you guys seen Engin Terzi's posts and everything. It really brought it to a different level now. I think he's bringing this back to the U.S. He's picking to see where he's going to do his next, just because of it was incredible. You know what I'm saying? My favorite match, I'll tell you, was John Brzezinski. It was I literally almost shed a tear at the end of his match. It was just unreal to see him taking Leonidas on like that. It was un. You can't watching it live and watching it on YouTube or anything like that is just on Core Sports or anything like that was just on a different level. It's not on the same when you have it right in front of you, the intensity, the people behind you, everything is just brings it to a different level. Yeah, but VIP was unbelievable. Eating with John Brzezinski was great. Going out with Travis, and Matt and everything was just it just brought it to a different level. We were going out every other night, me and James Reed too, and Michelle. So it was just it was great. It was a great time. I would have paid what I paid then and even more now just for the fact that I know what level it's on and what level it's going to bring it to next. And so, yeah, experience was great.
I mean, based off of just the number of attendance, I think that it probably was one of the biggest super match attended events that I've ever seen in my experience. Paul, you could speak to that a little bit more because, you've had your hand in a lot of different promotions. Would you say that that was probably that had set the bar pretty high?
Yeah, you know what I liked about them is how they combined the tournament the day before. I think that was key to getting the crowd there, getting everybody from all over the country. And I think that's a formula that other organizations should learn from. You know, it's great to have the super matches and all, but to get everybody there and included, you know, setting that tournament the day before and all, that was really key in my eyes. And I think that's what they did a lot different than everybody else. As far as watching on, you know, the pay per view and everything, the production was amazing. I loved everything about it. And one of my favorite matches was actually, you know, not, you know, the two big names, but it was the Hunter and Doug match. That,
Oh
bro,
yeah, man.
that was real. You know what I mean? And it
Yeah.
just the way it
Did you
went
watch the
down.
press conference?
I missed the press conference, but I saw all the banter going online. You know, and I kind of was part of it on Facebook. I was, you know,
Yeah.
putting money out on Hunter, and you know, everybody was like, "You're crazy." You know,
So
Doug's
they
gonna
were
win.
doing this right there, right in front of each other. And the camera was going back and forth, and he was going. He's like, you don't want to fuck you up. So it was good. It was going good. It was actually really good at the press conference right there. And then they weren't. The camera wasn't even on them at the time. So then afterwards, it was on them, and he looks over. I don't know if you've seen. He does give them the finger, but before that,
Yeah,
there was a little bit stirring up to the moment. You know what I mean? So yeah. So
yeah.
that's the
That
stuff that I
that
like
was
seeing. That that's stuff that you can't really see unless you're there type of shit. So it was good. It was good.
that was amazing. And then I gotta make mention, bro, my man Jerry, bro. He just, you know, he showed it up. You know, all that shit that we heard from when he went against Hermes, and you know, he had all that crazy shit happen before, and everybody was just like discrediting him, and it was driving me nuts. You know, because I know that dude is a legend in our sport, and just for the newbies just talking all that shit, but I think they all shut up now after that because
Yep.
everybody thought Alex Cadecia was just gonna go right through him, and Jerry showed up, and you know Jerry did what he always does, man. And you know I hope he gets that shot at the throne now. You know
And
he's
let me
been
tell you
wanting that
something.
since coming back.
That's Jerry Hurt. That's Jerry Hurt.
Yeah.
Literally. Right before me and him went to the VIP meet and greet, we were talking, and he told me he just took a shot in either side because he was hurt, plain and simple. He's like, so I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know if I'm going to be okay. He goes, but I think I got a cracked elbows from what the doctors told me. So this is like before this even happened. You know what I mean? So he went in there hurt. Imagine what he's going to do there solid.
Oh my
So if
God.
he's got some time to rest now, are you kidding
Oh
me?
yeah.
And I
And he
think
went
being
through him.
in,
He went through Alex with nothing, like nothing. So
I
imagine.
Like
think
a
the
hot knife.
I think being in the states also plays a big role, man, because you know the travel and all, and you know that long plane ride over there, that was a bitch for him, and you know he didn't travel good. It was really rough on him. You know, trying to fit in that coach seat, man, squeezed in there, being that fucking big, it's hard to do, bro.
Yeah, for
I
a few
mean,
hours.
Yeah, for
I gotta
real.
tell you, anytime that I've traveled for any super match, because I've been down to Puerto Rico, we got John Hutchison in the match, in the chat rather. I had a match with him down in Puerto Rico, and I was not performing at my best. So and that's the low level stuff. I can only imagine a long travel to Turkey or Europe or anywhere else. That takes a toll. That takes a toll.
You know what I've noticed is anytime you travel, it doesn't matter if it's an hour or 2 hours, if you have any inflammation in your body, you know, because I pulled a bunch of times right before I got on a plane, and it like quadruples when you get in that plane, and the pressure or something, it just really, really inflames you. So I think that's one of those things that athletes really got to take in in their whole preparation and everything, know that, and maybe shut down a couple weeks earlier than normal in competing, because I'm telling you, any little inflammation is really going to come out from going up in the plane and all.
Well,
Absolutely. The barometric pressure dropping and everything like that. Pressurized cabin, everything just gets a little bit more compressed. And if you're a big dude sitting in a tiny seat, that's going to even be more compressed.
Well,
So
2 weeks ago, I flew back. Actually, a week and a half ago, I flew from Florida to Cali, and I did legs the day before I got on the plane. Oh my God, bro! The next day, holy shit! Like I couldn't even walk, and I'm like, "Why is it?" I'm like, "I should have knew this, man. It's the inflammation. It's just it goes crazy." So I just got to
it's crazy.
experience that really.
we also got Ryan Bull Bellinger. Great job this weekend,
Oh
man.
man,
In the
bro,
chat,
that
amazing
dude
work.
He
is
did
yeah.
an
Is
amazing job, man. He did. Honestly, I couldn't even. That's another match too. You know what I mean? That people didn't know what was going to happen. The determination that he had on his face, dude, that day in person. Front row watching him was unbelievable. But you could tell the bull, like you could tell what was going to happen that moment that you saw him step on the stage. You could tell. You know what I
Well,
mean?
I gotta
So
say this, man. I'm sorry, Ryan, because I kind of was discrediting you on my Buzz show. I didn't know much about you. That was the only reason. I was just saying I don't know too much about Ryan and all, but they told me that he rolls with the Carolina boys and all. And when I heard that team, I was like, oh wow, he's got to be serious. But I still was like, Coach Ray, man, he just kind of like comes in there. He's very deceiving looking, and then he just usually smashes everybody. And I thought he was pulling that with that same thing he always does in the first round where, Ryan just went right through him and Ray kind of was like smirking and smiling. I'm like, oh, here he goes. He's going to make his adjustments. Now he's going to do showtime. And then round two, it was the same. And I saw Ray's face go from like all of a sudden very confident to, oh shit. And
yeah,
that's when I realized, Ryan is the real deal, bro. So
yeah,
now I know you, brother. I'm going to be watching. I came a big fan that day. That was amazing performance, bro. And another thing is that Carolina team, wow, they have some serious killers on that team. Very
yeah,
impressive, guys.
It's one of those. I would actually sit there and say it's probably one of the strongest teams out of North America.
yeah.
Yeah, I
You
believe
know,
that.
I definitely would think that. He actually said the majority had him losing, but it's all good. It just added fuel to the fire.
Yeah, that's what they
And
were
I can
saying.
speak to that too. I being an underdog myself, I like when people think I'm going to lose. They underestimate me.
Yeah, I kind of like it better than being a favorite, man. When you're the favorite, you kind of like, you sleep on the other guy and all, and it starts getting in your head and you get a little too confident. I'm like the same way, man. I'd rather everybody count me off because then it's like I got something to prove to everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he earned the name Bull, man. He rushed him like nothing. I'm saying it was a different story. I mean, definitely was a different story. When I thought him winning, he was going to win, but not just like that. It was he's a beast, absolute monster.
for real.
Can't wait to watch you again, man. He's First West, man. Seriously,
Right? I'm looking forward to see what he brings next to the table.
seriously.
We also got Lucky from the Lucky Ones podcast in the chat. Jerry Doro is in the chat. What's up, everybody? Victor Clearwater, a guy from upstate New York, new guy in the sport. Strong,
Kraken arms, strong fucking guy, man. Strong fucking guy. I was trying to get him a super match, but he's still warming up a little bit. He needs to get a little bit warmed up into the sport from what he says. So
Oh yeah, he's still fresh in it. I think he's
yeah,
only
he's
a couple
fresh.
months in.
He's fresh. You know what I mean? I just wanted. He had some
Yeah.
serious fucking strength, though, man.
Oh, serious power, absolutely. And we got Jamie James the second in the chat. What's up, Jamie? Thank you guys for tuning in.
Guys. Great. You guys all tune in. Appreciate it.
So, real quick, I guess for those who don't know much about you, Paul, how long have you been pulling sport? I know we talked about it a little bit earlier.
I think I'm about 4 years. Yeah, I think it's about 4 years. The story that happened was I really didn't know much about arm wrestling. It was the typical. I was in high school and college. Just on the cafeteria tables, and I always had like where I could just hold anybody. I used to be like a really big time bowler and always had this cannon of a forearm. So I never really had the power, the driving power, but I was able to hold anybody, and I would just wait till they were gassed out, and then I'd bring them down easily. But I was in one of my beast mode sessions out in California. I was at the gym and all, and just going balls to the wall like I normally do. And this couple came up to me, and they were like, "Wow, you're an absolute beast and all. Would you like to come in and arm wrestle with us? We're having a big practice on Sunday." So I actually had my boy Kyle, who from New York, and he was visiting and all, and he just looked at me. He's like, "Bro, you used to smash everybody. Yeah, let's do this." So I was like, "Yeah, you know what? We'll come in, pop over, and all that." So it was this big dude. He was like 6'4", 6'5", and it was this shorter girl that was like 5'1", 5'2". So I roll up on the Sunday with me and Kyle, and I'm expecting this big 6'4", 6'5" dude. That's who I'm arm wrestling and all. And the little girl comes up to me and she's like, "You ready to get on the table?" And I just kind of look at her. I was like, "But you?" And she's just like, "Yeah." So I'm just like, "All right, I don't want to hurt you or anything." So she starts laughing and everything. So she goes and she just starts pinning, and I'm like, "What the? How the hell?" And now I'm just like in shock. And Kyle's looking at me. He's like, "Are you playing right?" And I'm like, "No, bro. She is no joke." whatever. So I kind of got, my ego was like destroyed. I'm sitting there in shock. There was like 4 or 5 other dudes there, and I really didn't even want to get on the table after that. But they were all just going through me, and I'm like, what has happened? Well, right as I'm leaving, she goes, Google our name when you get a chance. So I'm just like, whatever, and I kind of just like forgot about it. Well, I'm laying in bed one night, like a week later, and I'm just like going over everything in my head, kind of just like it was bothering me. And I'm like, you know what? I think I remember her name. Let me Google it. So I put in Nancy Locke. And then I see, oh my God, holy shit, this is like world champion and all this. And then I look up Eric Waffel. And he is like the legend of California and Petaluma arm wrestling. So now I'm like, all right, I feel a little better now. Like, it's like, okay, they're like for real. She's in like 40 years. He's in the same thing. So I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm going to go back there this weekend and try it again. And I just went with a different like approach and attitude, and they started showing me things and all, and I just got hooked, literally. And then that was my first goal, was I had to beat Nancy. So it took me like 3 weeks and all. I went back there, I finally got her, and then I was obsessed after that, and it just started like I, I started training twice a day and just getting crazy. Well, as that's going on, I'm watching Game of Arms and all. They put me on the Game of Arms. Next thing, my messenger goes off, and it's Travis Bajan hitting me up. And I'm like, yo, that's the dude I'm watching on Game of. How's he hitting me up right now? And he's like, yo, you in the marijuana business, bro? And I'm like, holy shit, Travis is hitting me up. And I'm like, yeah, bro, I'm all licensed and all that. I got a bunch of things. So I start sending him some pictures, and this dude is in awe. And he's like, yo, I always wanted my own strain. Can you make me my own strain? So I'm just like, we'll see eventually, maybe, and all. Well, that week he puts out a post on his Facebook, and he says he has the wall hammer, and he's like, "Yo, I'm putting this out in a garage sale." But I think he was joking. But I hit him up in Messenger. I'm like, "Yo, I just built this crazy gym in my house and everything. I would love to have that on the wall." He goes, "I'll make a deal with you. I'll send it to you if you go and make me that strain." So I'm like, "Yeah, you know what, bro? I'm down." So I'm thinking he's full of shit and everything. Next thing, a week later, the thing comes in the mail, and I'm just like, "Hold! I have the WAL hammer. I think it's on my wall. Yeah, it's on this side right here. You see it?"
Yeah.
So I have Travis's WAL hammer. So I'm a man of my word and all. So I put him on with my man in Oregon, and they made the Beast Bud strain. It's a CBD strain and all that shit. So it was just down. Next thing I know, I'm hanging out with Travis all the time, and of course he sees how psycho I am, and he's like, "Yo, bro, you got to slow down, man. You can't be doing 2-3 times a day." And I'm like, "Yo, bro, I am different. I've been doing this 25 years training. Like, this is what I did for a living, fitness model and all this shit." And he's like, "Yo, just slow down." And I just wouldn't listen. And what actually happens next. Next thing, I pop my bicep, and I was like, "Holy shit, you're right." Well, I was all down and depressed and over that. And he's like, "Yo, why don't we go and start throwing events, and doing tournaments?" I'm like, I got to do something to keep my mind off of this shit. So next thing, we went through like 50 something events around the country. I became one of the top promoters, and it was just, I was hooked. I was there for life, promotions, arm wrestling, all that stuff. So that's kind of my story in the arm wrestling and everything. It was pretty cool. And just to have all these people hitting me up, and that next thing, Monster Michael Todd saw my gym, and he's hitting me up, like asking me what he should get for his gym. And then Todd Zilla's like, "Oh, would love to work with you." So I'm like, "Yeah, come over my house. We'll throw a seminar." And it was really cool, man, how I got in and how everybody was so like inviting and all that.
One of my first times actually meeting you, when you came over, you're like, "Hang on." You go ahead and you start FaceTiming with Travis Bajan, and we had a training session, him coaching on the other side of the screen.
I remember that. Yes.
That was like, what? Is this really happening out of my own garage? In this very garage? Is this really happening?
Yep. And then when I was hanging out with Travis once, I'm like, "Yo, do you know Devin and all?" He's like, "Do I know Devin?" He's like, "Yeah, hold on one second." And I was like, "I love Devin and all." Next thing, he started FaceTiming Devin, and he's like, "Yo, I think I met somebody just as crazy as you with arm wrestling." And he's like, oh, really? And then he hands me the phone and it's Devin on there. And then it was just like, bro, this is like the coolest thing and everything. And then me and Devin started hitting off. Next thing, Devin's invited me on his channel for the podcast. I was like, this was just so surreal how it all just, I'm watching all these guys on TV. And then like about like a month or two later, I'm hanging out with all of them and they're hitting me up. It's not like me hitting them up. And I'm just like, it was crazy how it all just went. And once you start rolling around with Travis, it's like now everybody wants to know who you are, wants to be your friend. So all these top elites are just hitting me up like to hang out. And I'm just like, bro, this is crazy. But yeah, it's, you know, it's like hanging out with Michael Jordan. You're watching basketball and next thing you know, Michael Jordan's hitting you up to hang out. It's like you got to pinch yourself sometimes. So, you know, it was definitely a real fast getting in there and getting out there and getting known and all that, you know, but it also, you know, getting known that quick and, you know, also has some setbacks, man, because, you know, I'd show up at these practices and everybody just assumes I'm some great arm wrestler. And, you know, I'm 6 months in the sport, bro. And I'd be lucky to find one dude that I could get a pin on in any of these practices that I'm going around the country. And everybody's like kind of like confused, like, you're so known. How come you don't know how to arm wrestle, bro? So, you know, I got humbled the first couple years, so to say, you know, so that was, you know, kind of cool like that. But, you know, it took a while to learn, you know, to really start figuring things out. But it was a great journey, man. And I get to meet cool people like you. And you were definitely one of the first teams that I was training with, man. The New York guys, you guys opened me with open arms and all. That was pretty cool.
Absolutely. Down over at Eric's basement out east in Holbrook.
Yeah,
You got a
again,
picture.
with all the Game of Arms guys, Mike Aiello and Steve Black, and I mean, it was
Kevin
really
Nelson,
cool.
all of them. Yeah.
Hell yeah, man, hell yeah.
Just want to say hi to Jody Williams in the chat. He's saying what's up. We got Ray Romanowski, and we got Tim Talmadge in the chat too. What's up? What's up?
What's up, fellas? All the homies in the house. I love it, man. Damn, man. Dan, you blowing up right now, bro. You got all the big dogs in there. This is great, bro. Hell yeah.
I love it, man. I love it. And you know, it's just about connecting the community a little bit more. There's a lot of things out there. You're no stranger to it. Steve's no stranger to it. I'm certainly no stranger to the negativity that happens in our community. We don't need to do that on this podcast. We're here to just, you know, we're not singing Kumbaya or anything like that, but, you know, we're having a good time and we're talking about positive things. And we also had Jaron Nixon of Urban Arm Wrestling League on the, you know.
New York repping, baby. What up?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. I got to tell you guys, before I forget, I got another big venture going on and it's going down in New York, man. So I got I've been doing a lot of work with VitaCell and you know, stem cell company, and I truly believe in it. I got so many people healed up. I'm hearing all these great success stories. So, you know, I wanted to take it a step further. You know, I wanted to find an actual place, a location where I could say, yo, this is mine. This is where it's at. You know, it's right over in New York. It's going to be in East Meadow, Long Island, which is in the middle of Long Island and all. It's like the perfect place, easy for everybody to get to. But in the next like month or two, we should be up and running. You know, we're going to be able to do stem cell treatments. I'm going to start throwing stem cell parties and all. This way, we could get everybody discounts and all. So I'm in the beginning stages of working all that, but I can get anybody hooked up right now. You know, anywhere in the country. We got a lot of affiliate facilities and all. But you know, I will have my actual spot where, you know, you guys could get treated, and you know, we're looking to have other spa services. You know, it's already an up and running. They got all kinds of other stuff they could get done as well. So keep an eye out for that.
Paul's social media link is down below in the description as well. I'm going to go ahead and share his YouTube channel. So I'm sure something like that will be announced there. Please subscribe to this man. If you want to know what's happening in the arm wrestling community, he's the man to connect.
Thank you.
If Steve can stop dying right now, you're good.
Then one more thing, September 14th, guys, if you're in the East Coast, Fort Lee, New Jersey, we got Knuckles Up 4. If you're in person, I got a discount code for anybody that wants to come and hang out. I'm going to be making a trip from California. Use the code Paul Italia, all capitals. It'll get you 10% off your in-person tickets. And then also I have a code for the pay-per-view. I can't remember that right now, but I'll get it to you after. Maybe you can put it on your channel or whatever. But I think it's also another 10% if you're looking to get the pay-per-view as well.
Absolutely, man. And here's another code just for that event right here. On all things having to do with the High Five Club. Check out their link tree. They
you
have.
guys making a trip for that? You guys all coming to that one? The Knuckles Up.
I'm going to try to make it out there.
I'll
I
be
can't
there.
make any promises.
I already got
These
my.
are-
Actually, my ticket's right next to you and Ryan.
Oh hell yeah, bro! Hell yeah, man! Hell
I'll be
yeah.
there.
There you
VIP.
go.
Very cool, bro. Yeah, I'm coming with the boys this time. Usually I come with my girl and all, but she's gonna stay back. I'm coming with a bunch of my New York homies. I want to get some of the non-arm wrestler friends to get eyes on this event and all. So I'm really excited about it. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I love the matches they got going on there. And I want to see that the one with Ryan Bowen versus the Shark. You know, the Shark's over in Florida. I get to train with him, and I really
Yeah, I
think
just
this
saw
is
Shark
gonna be one of
actually.
those.
Right.
Oh yeah, he was down in Florida, bro. I
Yeah.
just missed you guys down there. I was so pissed,
I
bro.
was gonna say I thought you were gonna be there because I thought you were a Florida guy, so I figured you were gonna be there.
I had a grand opening for my new business out in California, and I was supposed to be there the weekend before, but because Sarah Bachman had the Sarah Bachman Classic, I actually
Sarah was there
canceled.
too.
Yeah, I know. I canceled
Yep.
my grand opening, and I was supposed to go to the Sarah Bachman, but then I get hit with like a hurricane on my coast,
Oh
because you
shit.
guys were already up there. I
Yeah,
come
yeah,
up
yeah.
in the morning, and it's like insane pouring, and I'm like to drive 3 hours there and then 3 hours back, and I couldn't see
No.
it. So I actually, postponed everything for nothing. But I was so mad when I seen the East versus West and how many people were there. I was so jealous. I'm like, dude, I should have just stayed an extra week. I
Yeah.
was there for a month and a half already, so I mean, I was pushing it already.
So, I mean, if you want to talk about what it is what you're running around the nation doing, because you got a lot of things other than what you got going on here in New York. You got something else going on, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a serial entrepreneur, bro. I get involved in everything. Anything that makes money, that's me, man. So I own a marijuana business out in California. I got an antique and collectibles business in New York. I got the promotion company I keep in Florida. Now I'm opening a junk removal. It's called Forget About It Junk Removal. It's very profitable up in California. It's the highest rates in the whole country. And unfortunately, the way I found it was my grandmother just passed away in New York and all. And when I went over to my families to help them clean out the house, and I was like to my mom, like, why don't we go just call up like a junk removal company? She goes, do you know how much they charge? And I was like, no, I had no idea. So she told me, and my eyes just opened up. I'm like, oh my God. So now I start calling up any of my friends that I know that are in that business, and I start asking questions. And when I found out the prices, I was just like, yo, I'm gonna go open one of these. So, I get back to California. Literally, I'm ordering 2 new dump trucks to be made, and I'm off to the races now. I'm looking for employees and all that shit. So I'm one of those dudes. When I see an opportunity, I move quick. Anything that I think I'm gonna make some money on, I'm making moves. So that's my new thing. That's my new baby, and what I'm going to do different with this business that I've never did. The goal is to make it a franchise, something that I could put across the country and all. So I'm going to start in California. That pops off good there. Then I go and I get something going on in New York and Florida. I already have residents there and all. So, I got all the homies waiting. They're like, yo, as soon as you open up one in New York, as soon as you open up in Florida, I'll run it for you. So, I'm trying it out in California, and then we're going to just make the formula and go across the country with it.
And talk about a funneling of business, because arm wrestlers are pretty strong in the arm.
Okay,
they can easily move things up and pick things up and put them down.
Bro, that was one of the things I was saying, because everywhere I go, they're all like, yo, I want to work for you somehow and all. I'm like, unless you've been growing marijuana for like 10 years or you're into antiques and collectibles, I really don't got anything for you. Now I got for everybody, bro. If you're a strong dude and you want to get a workout every day, bada bing, bada boom, come work for Forget About It. We got you.
I like that.
Hell yeah,
That's
bro.
awesome. All right. Well, other than all these different business ventures, how has arm wrestling actually affected your overall journey and influenced everything?
I mean, it was a rough one, bro. Like I said, 6 months in, I popped my right bicep. I had to go have surgery for that. And then 1 year to the date, the exact same date, August 27th, man, that day I'm going to lock myself in the closet and just put pads around everywhere and not go out. I popped my left one. So it was like, it was crazy at the beginning. It really tested my will in staying with arm wrestling. And that's why when people say, I hope you're not going to quit because you lost your last super match. And I'm like, bro, do you realize I went through 2 surgeries within the first year and a half in the sport, bro? It was like 50 grand on one and 30 grand on the other. I mean, if I didn't pop out then, I'm here for life. I'm a lifer in this. I love this shit. This is my hobby and all. But like I tell everybody, I say arm wrestling is a marathon. It's not a sprint. I came in sprinting right away, and I was humbled very quickly and learned why you got to go slower. So that's the first thing that anybody that comes into the sport, because everybody, we know how it is. When you first get in, you're just like, you want to be the best. You want to just train like crazy. You're in the weights every day, and then you're on the table every weekend, breaking down the arm and the body and all. So I just encourage everybody, slow it down a little. Just remember, this is a marathon. And then the other thing is, sometimes I'm in the sport more than others. Right now I got a lot of things on my plate, setting up the businesses and all. So, I'm taking a little, putting it on the side for right now. I'm still training. I'm about to have practices once a month at my house. I used to have them every weekend and all. But I will always be involved. I always have the podcast and all. And as soon as I get everything up and running and set up with this business, then I'm back to all in, and then looking to take super matches, looking to compete more, and so I love the journey. I met so many great people across the country. I mean, now the world. Now we literally could say the world. I go to these knuckle up events, and sometimes I just gotta pinch myself because I come in there, and a lot of these guys from Japan, South Korea, Germany, Australia. I'm like, there's no way they're gonna know me. Let me go in and introduce myself. And we're in the meet and greet. And next thing I know, these people all running over to me like, Paul Italia, what's up? And I'm like, holy shit, this person knows me already? Like, you're from Japan. You're from, and then when I'm hearing in Germany, I got a huge following over there. And I'm like, this is nuts. This is like worldwide shit now. So, it's been a trip, man. I didn't expect it to happen the way it did, but it's pretty cool, man. And I love it. It's a great experience.
We're a tight knit community, man. And if we're doing something good and positive, people will take notice.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. But I didn't think the reach was like it is, man. It really is. And every time you see an East versus West, every time you see a Knuckles Up, it's growing and growing. And, from what it was from when I first came in to now, I mean, the exposure is so much more. It's a lot of non-arm wrestlers, they only would know like maybe one person, like I know Devin or I know
Yep.
Travis. Now it's like they know like a lot of people, bro. And I'll be at the airport sometimes and I'll have people come running up and like, holy shit, it's Paul Italia. I watch you on the YouTube. And I'm just like, yo, this is crazy. The best was when I was on the way to Turkey, man. I'm in first class and everything. All of a sudden the cook comes out from behind and he comes running up and he's like, I know you. I know you from YouTube. And I'm like, what the fuck? How the hell? Next thing you know, he's telling all the stewardess and all, and now everybody's looking at me and they're like, "Can we get a picture with you?" I'm like, "Yo, this is cool." And I'm like, "Yo, do you know there's a world champion right behind Jerry Cataract right here?" And I'm showing. It was just so cool to see like how quickly we're growing and people are starting to notice us everywhere.
I can tell you, I mean, I don't have as far of a reach as you do, but one of my guys, Paulie Park, he was down in Florida and not Florida, Hawaii. And apparently he's like, yeah, people watch your practices all the time down there. And when I was live streaming them, I got to get back to live streaming them, man, because it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed
They
it.
got a big squad out in Hawaii, man. I was surprised to hear that too. But I remember those guys all hit me up too at the beginning, and they were giving me all votes of confidence, and I was just like, holy shit, man! Even Hawaii's popping with arm wrestling now.
So you mentioned you're going to be coming back to the sport and competing at a competitive rate. What's the weight you're going to be going? What's your goal?
176, man. I'm done with the 198. I just had like a crazy experience with kidney stones. I was in the hospital for like a week and all the kidneys all infected. I've never seen anything so much painful in my life, but it was due. I've always eat clean, man. I was a fitness model for many years, and everything was only drink water, no sugar, and well, to keep that 198 class, man, I had to just eat all the time. If I didn't, just gorge myself with everything, I'd lose so much weight. My body didn't want to stay in there. So I started drinking soda. I started eating a lot of snacks and all that. And that's what gave me these kidney stones, man. So after experience that, I'm just insane now. I'm just chugging water nonstop all day. I'm back on my regimen of nutrition where every 3 hours I got a meal. There's no cheat meals really. And I'm a walking billboard when when I'm like this. I walk around, everybody just wants to talk. They're like, "How the hell do you look like that?" And I'm like, "Yo, this is what I like, man. Rather being this little pudgy, roly poly looking Pillsbury Doughboy with the fat cheeks, I like that ripped look with the abs and all that. So I'll be 176. That's the goal to compete at. And I think at
I'll be waiting
176
for
I'll be
you.
more. Oh,
I'll
yo,
be
bro.
waiting for you.
I know you were gonna say that because I remember that last time when I came back to get my little payback on you after you beat my ass in the super match, and I took your whole team out that whole, even your super heavyweights that
Yeah.
was pitting that day, bro. So I know you were coming for me, and I remember just after the super match, you were a whole different person, bro. I couldn't believe the progress, and I seen the confidence coming out of you, bro. So yeah, I'm assuming right now you'd probably kick my ass and all, but we'll be gripping up soon, man. We'll have some fun again, man. But
I
it's
look
all love
forward to it,
here,
man.
bro.
It's always a good time. It's always a
Hell
good
yeah,
time.
bro.
Dan's
Hell
hand
yeah.
is fucking ridiculous, man. That's really what it is. And you have
Bro,
an immense amount of power that you really don't think that he has. That's what it
bro,
is.
the massage, dude. That's what. After he beat me, I went nuts, bro. I started working out on my girl every night with the fucking massaging her because I knew that's how he grew it. And when I was so proud to show him the dome I built on my hand was, it was actually bigger than his dome last time. So hand is key, bro. That is, because from the wrist up, man, my arms are jacked, strong. They've always been. But if your hand isn't equal to that, it don't matter what you look like or how strong the rest of the arm is. That hand
Yeah,
opens up. You ain't
that's
got
really
nothing.
what it is.
Yeah,
really
so
It's crucial. Hand power, hand strength, wrist control. Those are the things that really. I mean, look at what Devin was doing with Chance. I think that he was just exercising. It's just hand control, hand control, like nothing else. And I think that speaks volumes as to your point.
exactly. And then also being knowledgeable on, when I really didn't know what I was doing until I met Bob Brown, and
Mhm.
it was probably like 2 years into my journey. And then when I went to him, and I'm telling you, bro, it was 1 week of being with him, and I just started realizing things that I never did. And I started understanding how to arm wrestle, and holy shit, that was 90. I just remember going back to my team and guys that I couldn't touch before that I was just smashing, and giving my super heavyweight Israel a fucking, like, he had a really red line to stop me from pinning him. That's when it showed me, like, holy shit, man, I'm starting to really get this. And another one that really helped me in that journey was Travis. Every time I'm with Travis, he would just be saying the same things over and over. And now it's like I almost feel like I'm one of the only people that know his style exactly, all the little details he puts into it. And that helped a lot also. But Bob Brown was the one that was just game changer for me.
It's amazing how readily generous and giving when you know how to ask these people. Like, hey, I reach out to them. I reach out to Devin on occasion after a match, and I'll send him, or even Paul Lynn. I'll send them my matches. Like, what do I need to improve upon? And it's one thing to get a message, but it's a complete another thing when you can get them in person. So
I gotta
having
say
that
though,
one-on-one experience.
not all of them are so wanting to show the secrets though, bro. A lot of the old school, it's against their rules or something, man, because
Oh
I
yeah.
trained with like Eric Raffel and all. I trained with him for so long, and he never really showed me much. And a lot of those old school mentality, they're not on that, man. They like to keep those secrets to themselves. So you got to find the ones that are willing to open up. And I was thankful that Bob did. And I just got so hooked with it, then I just started flying over to Bob's place all the time, like every like month or so I would try getting in there. And just the stuff that he would teach me. And I've never met somebody that can explain it so well. And it's not just one style. That man just knows how to universally pull, in every style, and just he knows how to explain it and teach. So that's the other thing. A lot of guys are good at their style, but they won't be able to really show you or like explain the details and let you show you how to apply it. Bob is just a genius with that, man. I've never met anybody like that. He really, really knows his stuff.
So
Nice.
Steve Fernandez, we got to take a trip down there, man. Let's
Yeah.
gotta take a trip to Bob's.
For
Seriously.
real, for For real. Actually, Bob's best friend is in here right now. He just said, "What's up? What's up, Luke? How you doing, brother?" Luke Polcher in the house.
Yeah, Luke Polsher. I got to meet him over at the Nationals. Nice dude.
What's up,
Real
bro?
nice guy.
Garcia is on there too.
I remember
Yep,
Luke calling
Garcia,
as I'm
Tom.
at training with Bob, and he would be like, "So how strong is he?" And Bob was like, "Oh, he's spying on you right now." I was like, "They got him in the 176 class now because I know he's a 198 guy. That guy's a monster."
We also, so Luke actually had a comment about that. He goes, I'm not sure that they don't want to teach. It's more that they don't know how to explain what they're doing or what they know. Take the GOAT. He's a terrible teacher because he just does it. You know, there is some people who know how to do it, but they don't know how to teach it or put it in terms that can teach it. So they don't feel comfortable doing that. And I know a couple of people, you know, in the sport, like, listen, they say, I don't like teaching newbies because I don't know how to work with them. I just know what I know and how I know it, type of deal.
Yeah.
Um,
And I got to say this one thing because I don't want everybody
Yeah.
blowing up Bob and driving him crazy. You know, Bob is very tight in who he teaches. You know, unless he wants to see that they got the skill already, and you know that he just got to tweak them a little and put them on the right path. Because I know every time I do this, he hits me up and he's like, "Bro, I got 100 people messaging me now to be the coach," and he's not looking to coach anybody or the money or anything like that. It's nothing like that. So I don't want people now to start harassing Bob Brown. Bob Brown's living a lovely life. He doesn't need to be bothered by everybody. But if you do get to train with him or show up over there, he will always show you. Like if you're at one of Bob's practices, he really takes the time in. If you make the journey there, he definitely will help you out on the table for sure. Great guy.
That's awesome to hear. We also got Aiden LeMay in the chat. What's up, Aiden?
What's
Bo
up,
Horner. Bo Horner's a beast down here.
It's a beast, man. I just seen him actually at the tournament.
Oh, yeah? And then
Nah.
we got Kong,
Last
too,
week.
from Puerto Rico. Kong, Kong did an amazing job down at the East vs. West tournament.
Yeah, he did do a good job, but he's got to pull pro. All right, that's what you got to pull is pro because you're a pro. Jesus, man, he's such a good puller. He's such a good puller, and that's exactly the conversation I had with him before. And he pulled AMs, you know what I mean? Which don't get me wrong, but his hand is like a fucking beast. Like he will wrap around.
I just want to say one thing to that is it matters how long he's been pulling because I got a lot of flack from that. And bro, I pulled in 5 tournaments and you know, because I did so good in them, everybody's like, oh, you got to make the move. No, man, move at your own pace. Don't let anybody else tell you when you're ready. When you feel you're ready, you'll know. And you know, something to go by is if you win 3 amateur events, then you have to go up. Okay. But then you could go to the semis, you could go to the semi-pros, and that's the next step above. Some of these new leagues, they do the semi-pros because you also don't want to jump in too quick, man. And you know, you could get hurt doing that, or you know, you get discouraged. You pay all this money and travel somewhere, and then you're 2 and out. I mean, that really does discourage a lot of people. So everybody move at your own pace. You know, I seen somebody else in there was comment, you know, that's why he's not taking super matches. You know, just when I pulled Dan, you know, I thought I was ready for the super match and everything. And I just remember when they called my name, my whole mind went completely blank that I had to look at my boy Kyle and I said, I'm putting on the chalk and I'm like, yo, what hand am I pulling? Like I forgot what hand it was, and I just went and grabbed Dan's hand, and I was just like, I didn't even try anything. I just grabbed on. I'm like, okay, let's go. Like I just went with the process because I couldn't even think. I was so nervous, you know, and it showed, man. I actually remember after, bro. I actually gave you a better match with Nitro after, and
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely. You
my
know,
nerves calmed down.
nerves is everything in the very beginning, man. I still get nervous at the table. You know, depending on the setting, depending who's watching, who's reffing, you know, I who I'm facing. That there's still some. It's still there.
You'll always get nervous, but it's a difference from when you compete in tournaments a lot. You get this, like, you know, the process, you know what to expect and all. So yeah, you're always going to have that butterflies. That's 100% normal and all. But it's the time, what I'm talking about is when your mind just goes completely blank. And that is the scariest feeling when you have all eyes on you and you're just blank. You're like, oh my God, what did I just do? So, you know, take your time, guys. And like I said, don't listen to anybody, man. Everybody moves at a different pace. If you need to get all 3 wins in those amateur tournaments, and then you need to go to semi-pros and win 3 of those before you make that move, then so be it. Some guys could go right away and say skip the amateurs and semis and just go right to the pros and do decent in it. It's everybody moves at a different pace, man. So just let your own self be the judge of that.
Yeah, my problem is that when they pull pro and they are a pro and they go to a different tournament and they pull AMs, that's my problem.
Oh, you can't do that, man. Once you go, that's against the rules too, man.
Right. So that's
once you're pro, dude. There is no,
exactly.
No.
You know what I mean? And it's
You're
hard
right
to do
with that, Steve.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's hard to see that when you know it, you know what I mean? And how good a person is, or you've seen it before somewhere else at an open tournament and you're like, didn't you just pull pros at? Yeah. Like, so why are you pulling AMs at? And I'm sitting there going, and then it was
a sandbagger.
Yeah, man, come on. You're just
That's
grabbing
a sandbagger. I don't appreciate that.
Yeah.
Listen, shortly after my match with Paul, I was still pulling amateurs at the time, but I was clean sweeping the amateurs. I did 2 or 3 of them in a row, and then I was like, I need to step it up. And that's around the same time they started the semi-pros. And I remember one of my first pro tournaments, James Reed asked me, why aren't you entering the semi-pro? We created this division for someone like you and mine. And I was like, I'm the type of person, I need to go all in. I'm as psychotic as, Paul says he is, and Devin is. I need to go all in because I need to learn. I don't want to do, half-ass. For me, I didn't want to half-ass it. But doesn't mean that division isn't perfect for some individuals out there.
You were different, bro. I remember that, bro. I remember your journey clearly. You moved so quick, bro, and it was exactly what you just said. Right after you went from me, it made me feel better because you just started smashing everybody everywhere. And I watched your journey. It was very impressive and very quick. And just like me and Steve were talking earlier, it's that hand, brother. That was your key right there. I mean, you
really is.
Your job translates
to
you
stay tight too, Dan.
Don't tell everybody to not underestimate the small hand. It's a little hand. It's little. It's little. It's harmless.
It's that you stay tight too. So it's just you have that straight cut movement. It's your whole body. You know what I mean? Beyond what you have with your hand, because I felt you before, like Paul has felt you before. You know what I mean? Your hand is on a different. You got a wall there, man.
That's what changed it for me, bro, is because after that, I was like, holy shit, I got to go develop the hand. So for 1 year straight, bro, I just went ape shit. And then I rolled up on Dan's squad over there. And, bro, the whole place was just in awe. I just was going through to everybody in every weight class. And they were like, yo, dude, we seen you a year ago and you couldn't pin anybody here. And now you just went through all the big dudes and all that. So the hand really showed me, bro. And that day was like proof of that, for real.
Appreciate all the compliments. Like I told even Steve Black, I told him, listen, as far as I've come in the sport, I still have so much to learn, so much to do, so much to grow upon. And tighten things up as tight as I can stay. There's a lot that I gotta learn. And I got Luke Polsher kind of poking fun. He agreed it's a harmless little hand.
The Schmo said something over there too. He said, pros with egos pulling in AMs is one way for AMs to get hurt and never come back.
That's true. It's very discouraging.
But I kind of disagree in a way, man. It's dangerous also when you got 2 amateurs going at it, because there's nobody that's going to take control and it's just balls to the wall, and nobody, like when you're wide open and you're still, that's how you pop a tendon and all. So,
true.
A lot of times when you're with a pro, man, they're not going to just hit on you like 100% because they know they got full hand control and everything. They'll kind of ease you down, where that amateur is just like, dude, he's trying to make spotlight for himself and he's just trying to rip you apart and rip that arm and bring it home with him. So, it is dangerous when you got 2 AMs with egos going at it.
Definitely. But I will say, to Schmo's point, I don't know if you remember Derek Cruz, his first tournament ever, he pulled with Zaza.
Oh my God.
First tournament ever. The man really had no experience at the table, and Zaza blasted him. Did not take any consideration and fucked up his right elbow. So, there is something to be said about, some pros that do have egos. As much as I like Zaza, that was a
And some
That
beyond
was
even
not okay.
and some beyond even egos, they just literally, because you're up there, you're putting your arm up there, they just go all balls to the wall because they don't know what's in front across the table. So they just want to pick. I mean, so it's just I think it's better, if anything, would be AMs instead of a fucking pro with an ego. You mean almost gonna break your arm in half and not even, you know what I mean? So yeah.
But I just wanted to shout out, we got Miguel Rosas from Puerto Rico in the chat. What's up, strong dude? We got Andre, I can't pronounce his last name properly, Evangelista. Did I say it right?
Yeah, Evangelista.
In the chat from Brazil. What's up? Salvatore Rios. He wants to know when you're coming back to Louisiana, Paul.
Yeah, man. So 50 Cent is doing big things in Shreveport, man. So I was just talking with my girl. I'm like, yo, we got to go, because we used to go to the casinos all the time there. I used to hang out with all the oil guys in arm wrestling, and they take me and Travis over to these casinos, and we would just ball out for like a weekend and all. So with 50 Cent being older, I love 50 Cent. He's from my area over in New York and all that. So I see him walking the streets and just kind of talking with everybody, and he's one of those entrepreneurial serial entrepreneurs that I follow. So I was actually talking, I might make that trip very soon. And, I got my man Barry Bournes over in that area. So I can see myself, soon as the business is up and running, maybe in the next 6 months, I'll be making a trip over there. So I'll definitely keep you in mind, Salvatore, if you're anywhere near that Shreveport area. Maybe we'll get up, hang out, get some pulling in and all.
So before we go into the next segment of this podcast and talk about the upcoming events, I got to ask, because this is one of my favorite questions of late. I only started this actually last week, and it's a fun question. What's a fun fact about you, Paul Italia, that nobody might know that you would be happy to share and reveal?
Fun fact. I mean, I was a fitness model. I mean, not many people know that. They know I love the gym and all that, but that was one of my like full-time jobs.
Everybody knows that, Paul.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I don't know what else. I mean, I let everybody know kind of everything, man. I'm pretty
fair
active
enough
on social media, so I don't really hold much back or hide anything. I was in real estate. Maybe people don't know that, but I think a lot of people know that. I mean, yeah, that was one of my first things to get into, was real estate, and
nice.
Also maybe bowling. I was big time bowler. My dad was a pro.
There you go.
Yeah,
I actually never knew that.
Yeah, so from the time I could walk, man, he was teaching me how to bowl, and I was 10 years old. He used to blindfold me, and
well, then you always had somewhat of a hand then.
Yeah, that's it, bro. That's where I got this forearm, bro. The forearm, I've always had that thing from throwing a 16-pound ball since I was 12 years old. And,
nice.
I mean, I used to bowl, 100 games a week, which, was crazy. I set a bunch of high school records. I went to one of the big schools in New York, Chaminade High School. It was an all-boys school, Catholic school, and I set a huge record there. I shot an 898 series, which, is pretty insane. Yeah, 2 300s in a row and a 298, bro. I was unstoppable that day, and I had all the scouts there for college and all. So that was definitely one of my like peak times and all. So yeah, bowling was probably surprising to a lot of people. Growing up during my time, that wasn't like a cool thing really to do. Everybody was in other sports, and when people would hear bowling, they'd look at me like kind of weird. But then they'd go with me to bowling alley and they'd see, and they'd be like, "Holy shit, bro, you were pretty good at that." So. Yeah, that was one.
I wonder, would bowling be good for arm wrestling recovery, because it forces you to open up a little bit?
Hell no, bro. Taking a 16-pound ball and having your tendons hurt. Oh my God, no way. Not fun. But there is a couple arm wrestlers that are very good bowlers. Mike Bisman being one from your guys' area. Chris Vert, I know he's a bowler too. So there is, and John Brezink, man, his father used to own a bowling alley, and I think they either owned it or they lived on top of the bowling alley, and John would bowl all the time. And that was one of the things that me and John Brezink connected with right away when I first met him. He was very surprised I was into it, and I was surprised he was into bowling as well.
Well, that is definitely a new piece of information that I never thought bowling was in your, in your arsenal of, tricks in the bag type of deal that you've got. Before we go in to highlight some new events that are coming up, I just want to say a shout out to Jesus Gonzalez. He's a guy from Beast Mode Arm Wrestling in New Jersey. big time supporter of all things arm wrestling in the tri-state area. He's always at every one of Steve's events that I've seen him so far, and he's at events all across the board.
Very cool.
All across the board. So for the month of August, we got a couple of events that I wanted to shout out. We got Paul Cruz's event. I don't have the link. It's linked below in the description. Paul Cruz's barbecue. He's got super matches, food, drinks. It's at a pool party type of deal. Great fun. It just continues the energy of the barbecue energy, event energy, which I happen to love. We're on Long Island, man. We're like the barbecue capital of the world.
I see.
I mean, some people might disagree with that from other parts of Florida or Texas, maybe, but you haven't been to a barbecue till you hit a Long Island barbecue.
100%. They are official over there. Hell yeah. Yeah, my man,
There
I
you
love
go.
Paul Cruz, bro. He's a great guy, man. I've known him from the beginning in the sport. He was at the practices we used to go to and all. That was great. And I get to hang out with him on the 98 podcast every Friday. When he's coming home from work, he's on the train, and he's in there for like an hour or so, and we always get to connect with him. Great guy, man. So definitely support him. Get over that event. It's gonna be a ton of fun over there.
Definitely going to be a lot of fun. Reach out to Paul Cruz if you want to maybe even have a last minute matchup. I don't know if they have room on their card, but I mean, it's a barbecue. Why not? And then I don't know. August 31st, we got Steve Fernandez running some super matches right before the New York State Championship at the New York State Fairgrounds. That's going to be the Unified New York championships, where all the local New Yorker promotions are going to be coming together for the New York State Championships, which is going to be great. I happen to love the fairgrounds. It's a great place for the family. There's always fun events there for everybody. There's a little something for everybody, for the kids, for the wives. There's going to be shopping. They have little shops all over the place. Great food, great energy. And it's right smack in the middle.
Steve, where are you located in New York?
Wappingers Falls. Well, I'm living in Pleasant Valley, but store's located like Wappingers Falls area. So I'm in Poughkeepsie, I would say.
Where is by Poughkeepsie? That's right near like Kingston and all that. Upstate.
Yeah, no, it's a little closer. I wouldn't say it's like right off the highway. Like, you ever heard of 84? Or like the Conic?
You know what it is, bro? When me living in New York all those years, anything past New York City, I didn't really know much about.
I know,
it, so,
I know. It's upstate New York.
No fair, but I used to call that bumblefuck. But
yeah, that's what we call it. Yeah, that's what we call it. Yeah,
that's exactly what we call it.
Seems to be a lot of arm wrestling going on up there, man. Because every time I come in, I see there's like big events, but then I'm like, damn, dude, it's like a 6-hour drive. It's kind of crazy. But I got to get up there one time and support you guys and check it out, man. Because you guys got a ton of arm wrestlers up, more than even Long Island and Queens, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, we bring a lot of people from everywhere, really. So it's. I can't wait for the championship, so that's going to be good. We're going to have a couple super matches there. I'm doing that with James Reed and everybody from New York, Mike Bisman, Steve Black, Paul Cruz, everybody's going to be involved in this, so it's going to be great.
You always got some big things going, man. I appreciate it, bro. You're really putting in the work. It shows, man, and you're really getting people united up there, and that's a wonderful thing when anybody could get more people and eyes on the sport. So keep it up, brother. I'll be supporting you for sure.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's you know how it is, man. It's you got to work at it as much as you can to make sure everything works out. But yeah, I can't wait for that. That's gonna be good because it's gonna be first super matches night at Pizza Pump, and then obviously I'll take care of everybody's food and whoever's down there. So we'll have everything catered there from the pizza place, I'm sure. And the next day they're having the tournament, and that should be a fucking blast because it's going to be on the fairgrounds. Like you said, Dan, there's everything to do there. Food all over, funnel cakes. I'm a big fucking funnel cake guy. I love that shit going to the fair. So if you're going to the fair, definitely, But yeah, that's going to be great, man. I can't wait.
I love
And
the
then,
fans. They always got the Zeppelis and all that. And oh my
yeah,
God, I
yeah,
love that
man,
shit.
yeah,
Hell yeah.
exactly what
Don't
I
you
was
have
thinking.
a
And it,
smoke shop up there, right? Is that
Yeah, it's called New York Smoke Glass Shop. Yep.
fuck? I remember when you first came into this sport, man. That hit me right away. It's like, oh man, hell yeah, I love that shit, man.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, they go good with my business, and hell yeah.
Yeah, that's how you and me. Actually, that's the first things you and me talked about. I remember when
Yes.
we started messaging each other, and
Yep.
that's like one of the first things we started collabing with. And I was just like, yeah, I was like, we got to do something because it was funny because I didn't even know. I had no idea until you and we started talking about it. But yeah,
Hell yeah.
shop's going good. Everything's going great, man. It's a fucking blessing. Thank God. We have a VIP lounge in the back too as well. Anybody that's been there before, so a couple of guys. But like Jesus has been there. It's a beautiful place in the back. So I got my office with set up, with a couple of tables. That's where I train. And then for the VIP lounge, got 134-inch, projecting screen, two TVs on the side. So it's a nice place. It's not just the smoke shop. So it's a nice VIP lounge in the back, and it's a good setting. For me, it's fucking beautiful. I don't have to do. I got everything right there, really. So
My man's got the hustle in him, man. I love that, bro. Hell
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
oh, he most certainly does. He's definitely got a lot. He reminds me of you, Paul. But by
Oh
way
yeah,
of
man.
energy, he's got a little bit of everything going on. You see him at every event in the tri-state area and also down in Florida. The man is not afraid to, move around to make things happen.
No, absolutely,
Amazing
man.
things,
You know
bro.
me,
Hell
man.
yeah.
Got it.
um,
Shout out to Kunal in the chat, man. He's gonna be a hell of a fucking player to be reckoned with at pro. He's just moved. I think he just went to a pro. It's gonna be
oh yeah,
154. Yeah, so he's gonna be pulling up against Garrett Tupper and stuff. So he's shout out to him, man. He's that's something that I appreciate because I pulled him at Vale, and he was said after he pulls there, depending on how he pulls, he was going to move up to pro because I already seen, he already had the talent and everything. He's been pulling. He's a great, and like you said, Paul, pull with time and make sure that you're gonna make the right decision on when you're gonna do it to make sure you don't get hurt. So he was making that right decision. He's got the strength. He pulled a couple tournaments, I think, afterwards, but in general, I give him a lot of props because he's going to be a hell of a pull to be reckoned with at 154. I can tell you
Hell
that.
yeah, man. Hell yeah.
love to hear it. I just wanted to shout out a couple of events that I don't have links to or too much information, but Luke Polsher announced that the South Dakota State is August 17th. Apparently, it's $4,000 in prize money. That's pretty freaking epic. I
Nice.
always like hearing, a nice large pot like that. Also, the same weekend, we got Massachusetts States, August 17th. That's this upcoming weekend. And
Yep.
then I
Now,
know the Montana guys are doing a Canada versus Montana thing, Armsgeddon
yeah.
Wow.
as well. So there's a lot going all over the place. We got Brian Parliament in the chat. What's up? He's a Through the Fingers podcast host, and he's helping out run that event. Looking forward to seeing that live. I'll be watching it.
And we got Battle of Beach 5, which is going
Oh
to be
yeah, it's right.
17th.
That's Sylvan Beach, upstate, up in Syracuse.
That's where I'll be with James Reed. That's another thing, man. Shout out to James Reed and Michelle. So they're the fucking shit, man. I really like them, man. I appreciate them. So they're good people. I was with them pretty much almost every day when I was in East vs West.
Okay.
Them, crew, and everybody else out there. So but that's where I'll be. I was gonna go to Mass. I didn't realize it was on the same day, and Aiden was reaching out to me, and I was thinking that I was gonna go, and I'm actually gonna be here. If they were on different dates, I would go there, but it's just.
Another one is September 7th. Magda's got a big super match event. I don't know if they have a tournament also, but I know there's some big matches on there. And on the Buzz this week, this Wednesday, we're going to have Pablo and Ryan Espy because they're going to be battling it out left hand. So that
Oh,
one's going to
that's
be
gonna be a good
interesting.
match.
Hell yeah,
That's gonna
man.
be an
So
interesting match.
Wednesday night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Tune in to Arm Wrestling Buzz on Paul Italia's YouTube channel, and you get to hear all about that. And we're also going to be recapping East versus West. I got a couple of guys coming that were present. I know Steve gave us a brief rundown as well, but we got a couple other guys that are going to come and tell about their experience as well.
Nice. Yeah.
Make
Yeah.
sure you give that channel a sub.
Yeah, definitely look at that channel, man. Paul's channel, the Arm Wrestling Buzz. I took a look at it a few times, and he's definitely got a lot of great things going on, man. Especially if you have, um, and or if you've been there or have any idea and want to hear a different, aspect and view from somebody that went to East versus West. Go on his channel, because I'm not just telling you from my eyes. You'll talk to somebody else, and I'm telling you, if you ever go there, it's a different experience to living it live than just watching on. It's always great to watch it on YouTube, any channel to watch it, but I would advise you to go there and try to be there, because the experience is unreal. It's unreal.
Did you
Like,
learn anything,
So,
Steve, from it as far as like how you're gonna run your stuff? Are you gonna take anything that you learned from East versus
yeah,
West? Like,
that's exactly what I was. Yeah, that's exactly what I was looking at all over, with the different screens and everything like that, and the lighting too as well. And I have the smoke machines and everything. I'm gonna start using it a little bit more. I have to get
what
a
about like the
room
whole 2 day setup? I kind of like that, man.
with
With it
that.
being,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
that's another thing that I was looking at too. You know what I mean, with having that 2 day setup is really. And like you said, it's because you're bringing in a lot more people that are going to be
yes.
there. I mean, on the next day, because they're already solidified there. They're right there. Already know what's going to happen. It's going to, so you're going to bring in more people no matter what. So it just makes more sense. You know what I mean?
And can I throw in one more tip, man, that might also be beneficial for you, Steve? Is you could even make it a 3 day experience, man. Start off Friday with the tournament, Saturday with super matches, Sunday throw seminars from the big time people that you had in those super matches. Throw like
Yeah.
a seminar day, man. I think that would be just like the ultimate weekend for everybody, bro. Where it's just all weekend long of just
there
different
you
arm
go.
wrestling aspects and all. And plus, it's another way to generate some extra money to pay for some of the big names you had to bring in and all that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Definitely.
not for nothing, Steve. You got Six Flags, Legoland, and other, family friendly venues nearby that bring the family. Send them to Legoland for the day.
That's a good idea, man. I know a lot of the guys in Orlando, they were taking advantage of that. They brought out the families. I'm seeing all the videos go out of people at the beaches with the
That's what I'm
families.
saying. I went to Universal Studios that same day that I got there.
Oh,
Literally,
okay.
like this when I got there. That's the reason why my girl came with me, because she was just like, what are you gonna do? I was just like, what do you mean we're gonna do? I'll take you to Universal Studios. She was like, all right, I'm in. That was already sold. But beyond that, she is now a fan of arm wrestling
Arm
from
wrestling.
seeing what we saw.
Yes.
And now I said, hey, I said, I'm probably gonna bring some, and she immediately was like, we're not, no. So I'm going with you. I was like, now we're going. This is not even a question now. Now there is no, I mean, I'm going to bring no, I'm going to, this is more like we're going, then doing this together, because I didn't expect that. I expected her to not really care about it that much, you know what I mean? And whatever it is, but and I kept on kind of looking at her, and she was involved, and she was like, she's like, that's a hook. I was just like, yeah, I was like, he's going in. She was like, so that's what you do she's like, when he went for the best of last, I was like, that's exactly what I do. I was just like, that's
Nice.
so it's like making me love her even more, just because, you know what I mean, of that, you know what I mean, just have that different aspect from somebody that's, knowing a little bit more of what we do and how we do it, and it's not just what you think, so it's yeah, it's great, you know what I mean,
That's how
so
I sold my girl on it. Was I brought it in Knuckles Up because the first couple of times we went, I went to just a regular tournament, and I'm looking over her after like 5 hours. I wasn't even competing. I was just kind of going to see what it was like at the beginning and all. And I look over, and she just looked bored as hell, and I was just like, oh
Glazed
man.
over.
Yeah, exactly. So, it kind of was like my guys thing, to go away for the weekend. And, I was going, throwing these events. But then when Knuckles Up came up, I'm like, I think this is more of a show. Let me bring her in all. She just loved it. It was just amazing to her after that. And now she
yep,
has like a whole different view of arm wrestling and all. So,
yep.
definitely, guys, if the wife gets a little bored at going to the tournaments and all, this might be something to sell. Bring her to an East versus West, bring her to a Knuckles Up. It's a show for everybody that they all could get behind.
I agree with you 100%. You couldn't said it any better. I was like, honestly, because that will change your whole aspect or her aspect on arm wrestling and what it's really all about, so 100%.
Yeah.
Shout out to all the promotions that I got all these super matches, because I feel like that right there is going to be one of the biggest level ups for the sport, by way of growing interest for people who may not be pullers. They say, wait, that looks familiar. Can you explain that to me? Especially if you're bringing a family friend, your significant other, somebody who's really close to you, who's invested into you. So that's really cool. And you guys are speaking to that because that was one of my points that I wanted to make later on. But I love that. I absolutely love that.
I think all arm wrestlers, you guys should learn from this, and I think you should look to take 2 or 3 of your non-arm wrestler friends, spend the money, bring them to a Knuckles Up, bring them to an East versus West. Those are the events that put a great spotlight on our sport, and it's something that they could get behind because the energy of being there, you don't even need to really know what's going on. You just get behind one of the athletes and they're screaming, they're all into it. That's what I'm doing at this next event. I'm going to bring like 3 or 4 of my boys that not really into arm wrestling and all. They've been watching my craze over the years and all, and now they're actually going to go to their first event, and I'm pretty confident after that. I think I might get them interested, maybe get them on the table one day after that.
Well, I mean, not for nothing, that's exactly what my barbecues are all about.
Yeah.
Exactly what my barbecues are all about. Is because it's not just a tournament, it's not just super matches, it's not just a practice, it's literally all the above. I mean, this next year I'm considering toying with the idea. I've been in conversation with Steve about it. I think this year we're going to turn into a tournament. Just to make things a little bit more interesting, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
And it's just, it definitely creates an environment where people want to hang out. They just want to be a part of something bigger. Yeah. And you have different levels of entertainment around you that make it that much more appealing to the entire family, not just the arm wrestler.
Hell yeah, totally agree.
So with that being said, we have 2 more big time events that we want to announce or touch up on. We got, like you said, we mentioned Knuckles Up with their production. They created this amazing pathway of progress through taking over the High Five Club has taken over the Arnold's qualifiers for the Arnold's Classic, which funnels their winners into a Knuckles Up promotion, which is freaking awesome. So Steve's got a Arnold's qualifier coming up September 28th. Paul, if you're in the New York area, man, you should definitely swing by.
That's amazing. See, I didn't know you got in with the qualifiers, man. That's gonna be a great one for you guys. Hell yeah, bro. I love
Yeah,
that.
man.
First we got back into Arnold's, which I think this is the way we needed. Like, they did great in the past and all, but I think we just needed like a more updated version and a better show to put on. And I think the Knuckles Up guy is gonna bring that new energy to it that we need, and really get, because there's so much potential. That is one of the biggest events for fitness and all, and just to have all these people to see what we do and put a really get people interested in it. The way they were doing it last and all, it just really wasn't grabbing enough people of the non-arm wrestlers. I think the Knuckles Up guys, I think they got a real good plan, and I think we're going to gain a lot from that. And then I don't know if they announced it, so I don't want to go out too far, but I'm just saying in January they got the Knuckles Up 5, and they're adding some.
They did announce it.
But did they say what they adding on to it and all that yet? Because I think they're they had plans to, it's going to be more of a weekend full event, so they got some big things.
Oh,
coming.
nice.
Yeah.
So make sure you guys stay tuned. Yeah. Stay tuned to the Knuckles Up channels, all their social media for all those updates, because that's going to be freaking awesome. I mean, I love the energy that Sea of Purple throughout the world's happening right now, because it's, I'm happy to ride the wave of that Sea of Purple, because they're bringing and elevating every aspect of the sport up to a different level. They're helping, pushing everyone to, up their promotion and up their experience. And I know we had a few people in the chat actually mentioned that they were talking about a couple of their own qualifiers. I think the VAL attrition is a qualifier as well. Daniel Swords was in there mentioning that.
VA2 September 7th, which is going to be Ryan Grondin. He has his Arnold's Classic qualifier too. So anybody should him too as well.
I think that VAL is August 14th or August 17th. I know they got, I think that might be a big one too. I think that might be a qualifier. I'm pretty sure that's in Virginia, West Virginia. You just
Yeah.
gotta make sure the dates or whatever. It's either the 14th or 17th.
Well, I do know on the link tree they do have a link in there that actually lists all the qualifiers, where they are, who to contact, the promoter for that qualifier. So like it's all wrapped up, beautifully wrapped up in one package. So you don't have to go searching for it anymore. Just click that link, guys. Take a shot with your phone. Take a screenshot with your phone if you're watching this on your phone. I'm not thinking that everyone has two devices. Not everyone does, but you just take a screenshot of it, and you can actually follow the QR code straight to that link if you can't see the chat.
And another one that's going to be doing big things, guys, that you guys got to get ready is Sarah Bachman and her husband, Mikey Olivia, are doing some major things behind the scenes. You know, they're buying up a bunch of the leagues and all, and they got some big plans. I know they're doing a few Arnold qualifiers as well, but I know Mikey's going all in. Sarah, the same thing, and they're going to start really stepping up their game, and I think we're going to have a very big organization entering into the pool very soon. So, you know, I'm looking forward for the big announcements. I jump behind them. I'm one of their sponsors, and you know, also with the Knuckles Up guys, I'm helping them out as well. You know, so any of these big organizations that are really taking it to the next level and trying to get non-arm wrestlers, I'm definitely getting behind and showing the support, and because I truly believe that that's what we need to, you know, get more people into the sport and all.
Well, I guess that's a perfect segue into the last event that we want to, highlight. We mentioned it last week's podcast, but we're going to talk a little bit more about it. We got Country Folk versus City Slickers. We got some of the best in the near tri-state area coming out to Montana, taking a trip out there to deal with some mountain folk, kind of showing what a city boys can do, and gal, what we can do. And it's kind of people who never face each other. Some of them have an actual existing rivalry. I'm not going to release any details of who has matches as of yet, because some of them are still getting worked out. But I could tell you right now, I think we got about between 9 to 10 amazing super matches ready to go. Some of the best in this area. We have a $5,000 pot. We're trying to turn this into a little bit of a reality show. The experience going to going to Montana from New York, staying in Montana, visiting, doing hot springs. We're going to be doing live. We're going to be recording stuff. It's going to be a fun time. We're trying to expand the sport in that same light. And we have a couple of sponsors that I don't mind announcing. We got a couple of sponsors that actually Mike Olivia is helping us out a little bit. And we got Gripzilla also coming in as a sponsor as well. And one of my favorite sponsors, local guy, Mike Rappel of Rappel Restorations. He's been a big time sponsor. My longtime sponsor since the beginning of the sport, since I started, New York Cryogen will be a sponsor coming in as a sponsor. We got Troy Bounce Fit as well from PA as a sponsor. And let's see, am I missing anybody, Steve?
I'm trying to think while you were naming them off to see if you're.
Yeah, I got two more. I got them right here in front of me. We got Resistance in Rotation. Paul, you know those guys.
Yes.
Those are those guys that came over to the Cobra Classic with us.
Yes,
in Indiana.
Yep.
They're going to be sponsoring it, and Mithril Arm Wrestling Equipment will be sponsoring as well. So I'm going to be talking a little bit more about it, shouting out a little bit more. But anybody interested in sponsoring this event, please feel free to reach out to me or Steve directly. We got some really cool things in the plans in the works that I think that is going to help elevate the sport to the next level and just excite people about experiences.
Let me just open it up a little bit more so people get into a little bit more depth. All right. So
what go for it.
Doing is we're going to be filming a little bit more into people's lives to make sure that everybody knows them a little bit more personally, not just about arm wrestling, but a little bit more about their personal lives. Where do they live? What do they do for work? Who is their favorite puller? How long they've been pulling for? What's their favorite technique? How do they train? So a little bit more to depth, into their lives. It's all going to be filmed. Something's going to be live streamed some days, some hours, everything like that. We're going to be picking them up from state to state, from New York to Connecticut to New Jersey to Pennsylvania, filming that into we'll be in a party bus. So the film crew that will be there would be, I don't want to say anything yet, but it's going to be about 2 or 3 people that will be going. And obviously we'll have pullers there while we pick them up. And we'll be going, obviously to the airport, picking everybody from state to state. And when we get into the airplane, when we get off. So it's going to be a little bit more of a reality TV show beyond after those days that we've been there. We're going to go to what's it called again?
Hot Springs.
Hot Springs. That's going to be filmed too. That's going to be with everybody there, all, the opponents, us, and the guys from Montana. So everything's going to be filmed. We're going to be in a mansion with a jacuzzi, tables there so they can, everybody can pull each other in the house. So this is going to be a little bit more so people understand and feel and see, what everybody's all about. And it's going to be a 2 to 3 day process. And obviously it's going to be a talk of up to, everybody's going to have an interview so we can, specifically see what everybody's all about. And then obviously they're going to pull that day. And it's going to be set up like a little bit different. I don't know if you've seen Mabel before, Paul, but Mabel has a couple different setups where they do with super matches when they kind of lay everything out of how many guys they went up to, how many losses, how many wins. So it kind of gives you stats of everybody, before they go up. So it kind of gives you an idea of how good of a puller he is. You kind of can look him up and have an idea of who he pulled, So this is going to be a little bit more into depth, like it's actual person that so when he goes up there and he pulls shit, he fucking does tree work. I fucking do tree work too. It get a little bit more personal,
That's
so
what I like, Steve. I've always said that's the key, bro, because for like non-arm wrestlers, when you don't know or have any connection to the athletes, you really don't care, and it's kind of boring to them. But when you get the whole lead up and you start connecting with people, and some guys you're gonna hate, some guys you're gonna love, now you're invested in the match, and I feel like that is the key for the non-arm wrestlers to get involved with our sport. So I love
right.
where you're going with this, bro. Definitely, and what do you have a network hooked up, or are you going to do it kind of like on a YouTube kind of deal? Like what's the
So we're
plan for
doing
that?
it for YouTube just now, from what they're saying, but there's other networks that we're doing that's going to be on the radio station over in Montana. They're having huge sponsors that are doing a lot of things in Montana. So it's hard for us to get sponsors when we're doing something in Montana. So we're trying to get sponsors so they understand and we can see everything live streamed. But these people worked with ESPN, they work with UFC. So we already know what type of production that they have. So that's why we're going to see what's honestly the best that they can put out there. It's going to be in a slash kind of pub, casino place, and so hopefully it'll fill up. I think it's gonna fill up. And I just we don't really see it because we're here. So we can't really have an idea of what it looks like. Have an idea, but not really know.
Can I
So
just throw in a
Yeah.
quick recommendation, brother?
yeah,
I
sure,
like what you said first, bro, with the YouTube. That's the smart way, bro. Because
right,
I've been part of reality shows. I got signed when I was a fitness model. I made it with Left Right Production, and we did a whole season. Got paid salary, all that, and then they merged with another company, and we kind of got sidelined and all. And I've also been in part of the one where we did at the Olympia with the arm wrestlers, and we had a huge network. And I mean, these guys dropped a couple 100,000. I actually became friends with the investor from Jersey and all, and kind of fell through because you gotta put this beautiful pilot together, which if you do it on the cheaper end, it's going to cost 20 to 30 grand just to do
yeah,
that pilot, and then you got to go shop it to the networks, and that's the hardest part because unless you're connected, it's very hard to get picked up. So you just
yeah,
said the key words to me with the YouTube, man, because that's 100% guarantee you're going to get all non-arm wrestlers watching it, and you're getting the buzz going. So
mhm,
now
Mhm.
you got something to show. That first season's all on YouTube for free, but now you could go to these big companies and be like, yo, look how many views we're getting. Look how much traction it's got. Now you got something to show the network where they could say like hard numbers. And
yeah.
that's the key, bro. So,
That,
word advice, if you need any help with that, let me know. And, I could give you like pointers and all, because I've been part of like a lot of these reality shows, and it's a hard thing to do, but the way you're doing it, I like, and I really appreciate the way you just said that, man. And it's really putting back to arm wrestling, bro. You're giving a free experience at first. They could follow this whole season and all, rather than have to paying right away. Prove yourself first, then go show the networks, man. And then
Yep.
you get picked up from a big network then, and then it's off to the races, bro.
The second season's going to be in New York, so Montana guys will be coming into New York, and we'll
Hell
be doing
yeah.
the same thing, vice versa.
Yeah.
And
Hell yeah.
I'd hate to say, Paul's not going to be in this one. He's got something to do the week before and the week after, and he was on 100%. Everything was all good. And then he just doesn't have enough time to take off for that. So, because he's got to be taken off almost 4 days for us to go out there. You know what I mean? So, but we have a couple of good people. We have Garrett. I'm going to name a couple of people, Dan. So we got Garrett.
You can name a couple.
Yeah, I'm gonna Garrett Tupper at 154, which is the Vermont state champ. He's an absolute beast. I have Sam Mitchell at 165. He's a fucking monster. You know what I mean? He's all over Vermont, Pennsylvania. Then we have Dan, our guy here, at 176. I don't have to say much, Paul. You've held his hand before. I've held his hand before. Guy's got a fucking ridiculous. Don't downplay Dan until you fucking pull Dan. All right, I'm just telling you that much. He might not look like he's a big guy. He's one of those fucking guys that you get into trouble with. So, but
it's like you said, brother, it's not even about the quality of the puller. It's the experience that people getting to know them. They're going to be able to associate with these guys, man. So they might not know them yet, but they will know them right after. And now they're invested. Anything they do after that, that's how you gain the fans, man. I can't tell you how many times I went to like a Knuckles Up event and I didn't know who they were. And I was just like, who is this guy or whatever? Now I'm big fans. Like we got Boksan Yul, South Korean. I'm starting to know Japanese guys. I never thought I would know any of these dudes. Now I'm like a fan. I'm looking for their next match and all, and I'm all excited and all. And again, can Buddy hear me? Because it said that he could hardly hear me. Am my audio coming over good?
Yeah, it's coming clear.
Yeah,
a little bit
much clearer now. I raised the volume a little bit on my side.
Okay.
So
yeah,
perfect.
Yeah, but yeah, go ahead, Paul.
I didn't mean to cut you off, Steve, man. You tell us the fourth guy. Yeah, you said you had another fourth guy. You were about to tell us who that was. I didn't mean to cut you off. I just got excited, man, hearing this.
No, of course. And Aiden May is going to be there, left hand at 187.
Hell yeah.
And we did have Jason Merlot at 198, but he has same thing a week before and a week after, which I know his events and everything. So it was. I appreciate him even thinking about it because I know he's always busy. So especially doing some of the Knuckles Up and all the time. So I appreciate him. I have. There's a couple of the guys we're looking for. We had Cruz that fell through. Matt Fish. We're still walking back and forth. I just seen him at East vs. West actually in Florida. He did a great job. He pulled some big guys. So we'll see. Hopefully, he comes for the trip. Then I have Steve Walker at 243 plus, and then Madison Walker as our female coming over there.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So
I wouldn't go too crazy, man. With you're doing it right now, bro. Whoever's willing to be with you from the beginning. I'm telling you, once they see that first season and how it goes, and I know you guys are going to do it right, man, and the way you're doing it, putting it out on YouTube, you're going to have everybody knocking on your door right now after that. So right now it might be hard, and you might get a little discouraged, like, damn, I can't get this big name. Dudes will start taking off from their job then, bro, on season 2, bro. I promise you that. So just keep doing what you're doing, man. I like where you're going with it because I feel like a lot of guys go wrong and, they drop that crazy money on that pilot and 20-30 grand and they think it's a guarantee and then they go shopping around a network and it gets discouraging, man, because you get a lot of these networks like they're like yeah and then you're waiting and then a year goes by and then we're not gonna go and you're just like it's kind of defeating. But the way you guys just said it, bro, it's the proper way, man. It might cost you a little money out of the pocket at the beginning. Seems like you guys got a team of sponsors.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna cost money.
But I'm telling you, bro, stick with it and you do it right. Season 2, they're all all gonna be coming, bro. They're all
Oh, yeah.
gonna be knocking on your door. 'Cause when I first started throwing events, man, it was hard to get the big guys involved and all. And I stuck with it. And then once you start getting out there and you start being the buzz, and everybody's tuning in, they see how many views you get. Now everybody starts hitting you up, and now you have the problem of, yo, dude, I could only have 10 super matches at this, and you got a couple hundred dudes that want to
Yeah,
be in it, and you want to get everybody there.
Yeah, that's what was happening. I was getting a lot of calls for super matches and doing tournaments with people and stuff, and which I appreciate everybody, hitting out and everything else, that want to do tournaments with me and stuff, and want a super match. And I apologize I can't get you somebody right away, because I've only so many. I'm doing a tournament almost every other month. So it's just. But either way, I appreciate everybody who's reaching out. But
soon
yeah.
you're gonna need to have somebody that's just gonna take all your people coming into you, and you're like, yo, deal with Dan, bro. I got too much shit on my plate right now. You gotta talk to Dan to get through to me right now. I had Matt Craig, that was my gatekeeper, man. I was like, deal with Matt, man. He's my logistics guy. If Matt comes and tells you about you, then you're a possibility on the next card, man.
I know.
It will get a little overwhelming for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it did for a little bit, So, but either way, I'm all in, until I can't do much anymore. But I can't wait for this Mabel to happen. Mabel's gonna be good. It's gonna be great. Going into I already have ideas, because it's hard for me to stop thinking. So it's just I'm thinking about already going.
I can speak to that. It is hard for him to keep going and go. Like, dude, I need to go to sleep, man. I know you got all these ideas. Write them down. Send them in a voice message. We'll talk about it tomorrow.
Yeah, and then it's same thing we were talking about with what's his name from today with the conversation about Mabel.
Yeah.
It's once you got me going, it's hard for me to stop, because I just can't. If we're going on an idea and we keep on going, it's hard for me to stop if it's good. You know what I mean? So especially I already was thinking about, because over here at my house I have the jacuzzi and everything else. So I was thinking, if we're gonna do it in New York, have the Montana guys come in here, I'll throw the party in the back. Same thing, vice versa. We'll film the whole thing at my house here. We'll have a couple of guys sleep here, because you've seen the fucking size of the house. Everybody could sleep here, do whatever. I have the pool in the back, the 2 fire pits, the creek in the front. So it's almost like that, especially the way I set it up with the 2 tables in the back. We'll have 3-4 tables in the back, with the split pool right in the middle. So that'll just be, but
that was part of how my selling experience for our events, bro. It was like the whole experience, man. Because I'd always rent this big ass mansion, and we throw the after party, and it just, the word started getting out there. And it's like, for the athletes, I put them in their own separate mansion and all. And now people are like, yo, dude, you got to get part of Italia Arm Wrestling Promotions, man. It's just the experience. It's just so much fun, and there's really not much like it out there. And I see you guys are kind of going with the same formula, bro. And that's the best thing. That's what is amazing about our community. It's not only the events that are fun, it's the camaraderie after, the after party, the after pull, man. It's just, it adds to it all, man. And
it does, because it gets even better after in the after pulls, because then that's where you create even more super matches, that's how it gets even better, because now they're like, shit, they're like, I want to fucking pull him. You know what I mean? So that's when so it hypes
shit up. It hypes shit up big time.
It does. It really
does. And this right here, this level of conversation, this type of conversation, this type of event, it is an absolute pleasure and honor to be a part of, because not for nothing, it was birthed from a conversation here on this screen. And I'm grateful for that opportunity that, Paul, had you not encouraged me to start a podcast, I wouldn't have had this platform to create this idea. So it's talking about full circle here, man. There's an attitude of gratitude with me that I couldn't have done it without each and every one of you. And that's why it's collaborate and pull together.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
And Steve, I know you said earlier about Mabel, and I didn't really know what you were talking about. Now I just made the connection. Mabel is that big, the City Slickers against the Montana Boys and all.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that was the name. Now I understand. Yes, I've heard all about Mabel. I just didn't know that was the name for it, bro.
Yeah, that's the name that we're gonna give it. Yeah, and right before I forget, shout out to Roger Learn. He's gonna be our 231 guy. Jennifer Learn's going to be our photo girl. We have somebody else that's going to be recording everything else, and we'll have another person that's going to be also doing a couple shots and everything else. So they'll be the whole family's
Yo,
going to be with us in the mansion.
Roger and Jennifer, they were at all of my events. They seen all the after parties and all. They were always like such great supporters. So yeah,
Yeah,
they know
they
the
are.
deal too. They've
Yeah,
been around it all. Great people.
Good
Love them.
energy.
Shout out to
they
them.
really are. They really are.
Hell yeah.
Shout out to them, man. Absolutely.
So, Steve, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm a little partial, to be honest with you, but Luke Polsh is asking what event should he attend on the East Coast. I would say King of the Tri-State
Yeah,
is
of
the
course.
event to attend.
Yeah, King of the Tri-State, Arnold's Classic Qualifier. You'll qualify for Arnold's. So, we have the medals and everything already set. I'm going to have shirts out there for sale too as well. It's going to be free food. That's the number one thing. That's my difference between everybody else. At all my tournaments, you'll always have free food at my tournaments. So definitely come by.
Yo,
It's going
be
to be
careful
nice.
saying that. We got some monsters in this. We got some 300-400 pound dudes that could eat you under, bro. Holy
Yeah,
shit,
man, I
they're
know.
sponsored for the food.
Believe me, the good thing about it is that I go to places where I can actually have my wife make my food for us. So and she
Okay.
makes sometimes better food than anybody else. So that's how we get
Oh,
usually.
and it's damn good food. He
Yeah,
makes
Hell yeah.
more than enough. He comes prepared, dude. Paul, at my barbecue, you know how much food I usually have.
Oh my
This
God,
man
yeah.
brought extra steaks and extra food.
yeah.
He comes prepared. He comes prepared.
When it comes
I
to
mean, he's
food,
balling out, man. He could do it. Like, he got the smoke shop going on. He got a bunch of shit going on. So yeah, he could really do it big with that, man, for real.
Yeah.
But just beware, bro. We got guys like Corey West that could show up, man. They ain't
Oh yeah,
playing,
I
bro.
know.
Wayne Withers.
I know.
Wayne Withers
That's
is
another
I already
one.
had him at my place, man. He ate all the shit. So Jesus, yeah,
Yo.
he's a big guy, man. He's a 300 plus. Yeah, so he's just, but yeah, man, always, all the time. That's gonna be fucking fun, man. I can't wait for that. That's gonna be
I'm
all
gonna
set.
get out to one of your events, man. Keep me posted. Like I said, I got a couple months. I just gotta lock in over here, get things up and running with the biz. But once I do, man, I'd love to come experience one of your events and all.
Yeah, man, I'd love
so
to
just
see
keep
it,
me
man. If
posted.
you can, I'm the 28th. If you get some time, I know you're busy, man. You have a lot of businesses to take care of and your own personal life. So, but I'd love to see you over there, man. Definitely.
Hell yeah. The next time though, I will be over on the East Coast. It's only for like 5 days. I'm just bouncing in for Knuckles Up. I get in, September. I think it's like 12th or 13th, and I'll be
Yeah.
there to like the 18th. Maybe Dan, I could come. Maybe we'll get a little quick practice in or something when I'm out there, and
There you
you can
go.
beat up on me a little.
Listen, man, the last time we pulled, that wrist felt a lot stronger than I remembered it from the previous year. So
Hell yeah.
yeah,
Hell yeah.
even though you had that forearm issue, you still got your wrist is still insane. I'm sure that all this rest is probably doing you some wonders too.
Oh yeah, I've been just working the bodybuilding, back to bodybuilding because I took off from bodybuilding list for like the last like 2 years. So it feels good just being in the gym, not being sore and beat up from the table all the time. And I've been getting back to working on the body and all. But I'm keeping the working the hand and wrist as well. I'm only doing like 3 days a week with that, but I'm about to get back to every day. Throw that in as a second workout as long as I don't kill myself too much with work and all that. But yeah, I'm getting back into the things, working on that hand again.
Just to let Luke Polsh know, I did send you a message just now. It's all the information about the qualifier. Steve's qualifier is in there. We would love to have you out to that event. That would be awesome.
Love to have you out there.
Luke's a fucking monster.
Really is.
Look out 198 because I think
Yeah.
is he bigger now? I think he might be 220.
Yeah, I think he's bigger now.
Look out
You've been eating a
220s.
lot of Twinkies, huh, Luke?
So any other events that you want to highlight, Paul? Any other happenings in your corner of the world?
I mean, any event that, anybody that's putting up their money and just, trying to grow our sport, I get behind, I support completely, man. So, just encourage everybody to keep doing what they're doing. And, can't have too many events out there, man. So just everybody do their thing. And, it doesn't matter what size you're at or whatever. And just keep trying to grow the sport. And I really, truly, I believe that we should work on bringing our close, immediate family, friends, if you can, bring them to one of these big events, that's kind of like a show. I really think that'll, help get them more interested in. Dan, you seem to be one of the best at getting non-arm wrestlers. Every time I come to your practices, I'm just amazed, bro. You always got like a whole new crew of people that you just brought into the sport, where you met them here, you met them there, and I'm just like, holy shit, man, you really are at it full time, bro. And it's stuff like that. That's like how you're gonna grow from the organic, from the bottom, bro. You're out there every day, wherever you go. You can tell you're preaching it, and you're not only preaching it, you're bringing them over and actually getting them to not just talk about, but putting them to action, man. And that is very hard to do, man. Everywhere I go, it's like every person I bring up arm wrestling somehow. If somebody is like, damn, your arms are jacked, it's right into arm wrestling. Anything I do, but I haven't figured out how to get them on the table. And whenever I see, I'm just like, holy shit, Dan's doing it, man. It's impressive, bro, for real. You've built like so many different teams. Like there's like 3-4 different teams in New York that you could say that Dan has built, bro. And it's like anytime you go to an event in another state, he's bringing like the whole like crew. Like it's like they're caravan in there, and you're like, this is impressive, man. So I love what you're doing, Dan, and you're relentless with it, and you're one of the best. Again, sponsors. Steve, you teamed up with somebody great, bro. He lives.
Oh, bro, believe me, I know. That's the first thing that me and Dan spoke about when we teamed up. I was the mainstream for something else, and he was my fucking sponsor guy, because he's amazing doing it, bro. And I always give him praises, because like some people don't realize and what you people do for you and how you do it with them. So I appreciate you. You know that, Dan. I always let you know that my appreciation. You know that. But
bro, he gets in the area. I mean, one day I get a phone call.
I don't even know how the fuck he even gets the people that he gets, bro. Sometimes I really don't know. I don't understand what he does or how he does it. And I'm good at sales, bro.
Yep.
I'm good at sales. But getting
Obviously.
someone else to spot, it's just I don't know. It's day in and day out. So I appreciate you, Dan. Really do.
He was working at a dispensary. Next thing I get a phone call. He's like, yo, you know the owner here. And I'm like, who? What are you talking about? Where are you now? Like, who did you meet? And next thing is some guy that owns a dispensary in New York. And, I knew his wife. He went to college. I'm like, Jesus, bro, you just run into everybody. And it's just like, I'm always amazed, man. It's not just through Armor. You find everybody everywhere. So keep it up, kid.
I enjoy connecting with people, man. The gift of gab is not something that's a foreign entity to me. As you can see, all those people that sponsored us, these guys are people that I either was a customer with or a friend that has a business, and if they have something that's unique, special,
you got me.
Anybody who's watching, if you have something unique and special, that's something that something a little different, something that outside the box thoughts, hit me up. I'd be all ears to listen to what you got going on, because I probably know somebody or a community of people who are definitely interested in hearing what you got to say. And that's one of my eagerness of doing things like that, because listen, I never knew that Paul liked to bowl. He had an epic bowling record. That's fucking awesome. That level of investment is what Steve's talking about. We're trying to capitalize and capture for each arm wrestler, because not for nothing, I think I've met maybe 2 other massage therapists that happen to arm wrestle, but I only did that because I listened to what people are saying. And I sit there and I'm like, hey, wait, you speak like not like an arm wrestler, you speak like a massage therapist. What's your background? And then I find out what they do. Just getting connected with these people and listening to what people say, is something that I enjoy doing.
Remember the stem cells, bro. It's going to be right over in East Meadow. We're going to be open up over there. I know you're going to be one of those guys that could connect with a lot of people in there. So I'll definitely be looking for some help over there. And same thing, Steve, if any of your guys or your team or whatever, anybody got any injuries, anybody in the arm wrestling world, man, I'm going to get you the best discount there is, bro.
Dude, I'll be over there soon for myself. Shit.
Oh, hell yeah, man. So, anything that we could help, because I truly believe in it. I've watched the whole arm wrestling community. All these guys are getting healed up. I did them myself on my surgery spots and all. So I know it works. At the beginning.
Where did you put it? Where did you go? Bicep or shoulder?
Both biceps, but I went with the exosomes. I didn't have any pain or any injury. It was just, I had the full surgeries. So I was like, let's make it, bulletproof over there. the one thing I did have on my right arm is I had the tendonitis. Now, when I get tendonitis, I know it's usually like 3-4 months it's going to take me to get it all healed up and all. As soon as I did that, 2 weeks later, the inflammation was gone. I couldn't believe that. So that is the thing that I personally experienced. But like I said, I didn't have any nagging injuries that I could actually do it. But, I took advantage. I did the exosomes, and they really do work. But I've watched so many of my friends, Jerry Catterett being one of them, Devin. I mean, Devin is like the walking experiment. He has the most stem cells on this planet, and that's a clear fact. Like, and he's getting so healed up. And, I had a couple of my family members, I got them major discounts. They went to Mexico before, and, they were telling me how cheap, and,
I was going to
they got
say,
some good.
any idea what are they going for price for? And any idea, like an estimate?
Oh yeah, no, I know the range. It's a broad range, man. It's normally when you go to these regular places and you don't get any discounts, you're looking $3,500 to $8,000, mattering how many treatments, where you need to get your shots or whatever, and what you need. Because there's also different things you can get. You got your exosomes, you got your stem cells and all, and there's different types of stem cells. So it matters on your exact injury and all. But
Gotcha.
the one thing I could tell you is there's definitely could get a big discount by just arranging groups, and you don't even have to go all together. Say I'm doing like a thing in September where I got 5 people across the country and they're going to affiliate locations and all, but because I'm bringing in 5 guys, we could have it arranged that it could save them a lot of money. Now, if we do it in like a spot like where I'm going to be owning over in East Meadow and all, and now we get all those guys going. So just like the nurse alone, they're going to charge $250 per injection just for their services. But now if I get like 5 to 10 people going there, they're not going to need the $250 per injection. So you're going to save right off the bat on that. Then also from me going wholesale to VitalCell and all, they're going to give me a discount because we're getting a lot more than just one treatment at once. So they could give me the rock bottom price there. And then if you're an arm wrestler, you're part of my family. Even if we haven't even talked, you're an arm wrestler in my community and all. I'm not trying to make anything on that. I want to get you guys healed up. I know, we're not made of money and all that. So, I'm going to help them out even more than, other people, so that's where you could get some tremendous savings.
It's exciting, cutting edge stuff, and wellness, in my opinion, needs to be made more of a priority. And this is all different aspects and capacities of wellness. I always think that recovery is where the gains live. There are some arm wrestlers that say that you got to keep training. Well, we're beating the ever living shit out of ourselves, doing a very unnatural sport to our bodies. There's got to be something's gonna give at some point. Maybe you just haven't had somebody strong enough to make it give as of yet. But there's something that's gonna give. As somebody who's been in as a massage therapist for 13 years, I've watched overtrained athletes a lot, and I've helped them recover a lot. And some of these guys, you would think that they have tendons of steel, but they still break. Something gets injured. Something else gets injured in their shoulder that they didn't train up. Possibly they weren't utilizing. And it's important to recognize all the different capacities of wellness that exist. Like I do my cryotherapy thing, right? I think that's one of my biggest strengths, and being able to help me train as hard as I do, because not only does it reduce the inflammation at a very rapid rate, but that type of cryotherapy actually helps your body produce more collagen. And collagen is crucial in our sport. It's absolutely crucial. And I think we can go say that for another episode. But I would say that, understanding the different pieces of wellness and understanding what the benefits are something that people need to do a little more research and be a little more open-minded to before they sit there and say, it's too expensive. Screw that. The alternative is more expensive. You break your arm, you're out of work. Surgery. You're missing surgeries, and you're missing out on income. You're missing out on, a quality of life even.
I agree.
Whereas, you spend a little bit extra money, front end, guess what? You can reap the benefits of still enjoying the lifestyle you've been living and the sport you've been loving.
There's nothing more important than taking care of yourself. So don't ever think that you're spending too much money when you're taking care of yourself. That's plain and simple.
Some of these surgeries that, like I said, on my arm, I have insurance and all, they were 50-some thousand gone to my insurance company, you're still going to pay a part of that. I think it was like 8 to 10 grand out of my pocket and all, but you could save that sometimes when you go and you get these stem cells, so it's literally, you'll save in the long run. And here's a great example. I opened up my mail today, and my eyes almost popped out. That 1 week I just stayed in the hospital with the kidney stones and I had it removed and all. I just seen a bill for 67,000 billed to my insurance, and I just learned I had to pay 8 grand for that today, out of my pocket. And I'm just like, my mouth just dropped. I wasn't expecting anything like that. So I mean, when you look at it like that and how expensive some of these injuries, really could cost you. And I mean, a lot of people in the arm wrestling, it's sad to say, a lot of them don't have health insurance, and they don't even realize that. And that could be a real eye opening that you got to go get a surgery, or some of them just going to have to deal with a pop tendon and never get it healed up. And so if some of these injuries we could save it with getting your stem cells, that's overall it's going to save you a lot and be able to allow you to keep on the table, because it's sad when to see, a lot of these guys don't realize how expensive it is, and they go get this injury, and now they go and they find out how much it is, and they don't got health insurance. And that's scary. And I always tell people, when we're on the table and all, you got health insurance, make sure you do it, because this is a dangerous sport. You go and break your arm, and you don't have health insurance, 50, 60,000, and then just to be out of work for that much time, and it's scary. So health is very, very important. Definitely stay on top of it. It's one of the most important things to keep longevity and to be able to participate in the sport over time.
There's a quote in my job that I love to always share. If you don't make time for your wellness, you'll be forced to make time for your illness.
True, 100%. Oh my God, that is a good saying. I gotta write that one down. Hell yeah.
I love it because it's so true. I committed to memory, because it's not just time; it's investment. It's just invest into your wellness, because your illness will force a bigger investment out of you.
100%.
I agree. I definitely agree.
Well, gentlemen, it has been a real fun show. We're approaching the 2-hour mark. If there's anything else you guys want to shout out before we close up shop tonight, please feel free to do so.
Paul, it's been a pleasure, man, to talk to you on the show. Thanks for coming on the show and everything, man. And always follow you, man. So it's great to see what you're doing too. For the sport, for everything around. Good luck with everything that's going around in Cali, New York, everything for you. And let me know as soon as you set up for the stem cells. Shout out to me. I'll be one of your first customers. So just let me know.
Hell yeah, bro. I appreciate you guys having me on the show, man. It was amazing. I can't believe you just said it was 2 hours. I'm like, holy shit, time flies when you're having a good time, man. Great conversation. But keep it up with this podcast, man. I'm a big fan of it. I love what you guys are doing, and to see you guys putting in all this work and throwing all these great events, and not just in your area, bringing it across the country, and with the big reality show you guys got going on, and this is the stuff that we need. This is the energy we need, and like you said earlier, Dan, there is a lot of negativity in arm wrestling. But I love how you guys push that away. You don't even give it no time, and you're bringing in a lot of positive. So keep it up. I'll always be a fan of that and support you guys. So appreciate it again. And again, if you guys can get over to Knuckles Up 4. It's September. What was the date on it? September
15th, September
14th.
14th. I have so many dates in my head with all these
great
events.
Too.
But use the code Paul Italia, all capital letters. And also I have the pay-per-view code, which, I'll be posting on my channel as well. I think it's Paul Italia 10. But receive your 10% off. And I'll keep everybody posted with the stem cells as I get that going. And if you need it right now, I could hook you up with a, affiliate location. But when I do have my own place, we'll definitely get the biggest discount that you'll be able to get in the whole stem cell community and all. But thank you again for having me on, guys. And keep it up. And everybody in the chat, what's up, man? Appreciate the support, guys.
It's always an honor to be on the screen with you, man. Looking forward to the next time. And like a typical arm wrestling channel, let's end with a flex.
Yeah, feeling spicy, baby. Yeah.
Yeah.